Waiting. We're live.
Hello again, everybody. Yes. Welcome into the Tim McKernan Show. It's the Pick Six podcast presented by the fine people at Tullamore Dew. Celebrate your favorite team's touchdowns this year with Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey. May their feet be swift and their aim true. May the refs be forever in your favor and your whiskey always. Tullamore Dew. Tullamore Dew, the original triple blended, triple distilled, smooth sipping Irish whiskey made exactly for game day moments like this. When it's game time, it's Tully time. Please enjoy. Tully responsibly. Tullamore Dew Irish whiskey, imported by William Grant & Sons, New York, New York. Boys, it's the Pick Six podcast, week 3 of fun and of games. Action Jackson, Producer Joe, Gangster Repeat, G-Unit, Iggy, and myself bringing the heat, prepared to give you our 5 picks and then our lock. Jackson, I know I went 3-3 last week, and I know I won my lock, making me 2-0 on locks and 8-4 on the year, but I have no idea who did the best because I can't imagine 3-3 was the best, but I'm certain 3-3 wasn't the worst.
Yeah, that's accurate.
What do we got?
Our leader last week was, from worst to first, G-Unit, 4-2.
I knows NFL.
Yeah, I knows NFL. 4-2 for G. And he hit his lock, which is nice.
So what was his record?
4-2.
4-2.
4-2, and he hit his lock. You at 3-3 is second best.
Oh no.
Then Iggy at 2-3-1, he pushed on his lock of the Panthers -5.
Fucking late field goals.
And then tied for fourth is Prod Joe and Pete. Both went 2-4. And then bringing up the rear is yours truly, who went 1-5.
Now, G-Unit, I'm going to give you the floor here because you are what a really impressive bounce back after the 0-6. So not only did you have the 4-2 in your specialty NFL, but you also immediately jumped 23-year-old Jackson's ass for his love of the Green Bay Packers against the New Orleans Saints. Sir, the floor is yours.
Boy, well, I mean, that was an easy pick, but man, that is a crazy score. I don't know what to think about the Packers the rest of this season. This could be a disaster year. You know, a lot of the pro bettors were on the Packers under season wins at 10.5. And I wasn't quite sure why they were so hot on that, but boy, does that look good.
G-Unit, are you at Babes again? We got a connection issue. Jackson is not in a good place. Pete, isn't this great that this isn't your problem anymore?
I love it. I just sit back and relax. It's like, oh, man, that sucks.
Joe's 8 years removed from it, so this would be foreign for him to have to worry about it. This G-Unit every week, though. Every week, the guy takes up the most time with a bunch of error on his NFL picks, and then we have a connection issue. G-Unit, are you back?
Yeah, I'm back. What? You guys heard what you needed to hear, I think, right?
I would agree. I mean,
the Packers, I think, are going to suck this year. That's going to be trouble for you, Jackson.
I didn't pick. I just picked one game. I didn't pick I'm not picking them every week.
It was so scary square that I think all of us were concerned for you. Kind of like his big brother's like, oh no, this poor young man is about to get slaughtered this year. He loves the Packers.
I put an addendum on the front saying that I knew it was chalky, yet I still liked it. Because sometimes the public wins, but what are you going to do?
So G-Unit 4-2. What are the standings, Action Jackson, for the season, sir?
Right. So G-Unit is now officially 4-12.
So you're starting in the middle of the standings?
Jackson, Joe is shaking you off.
He's starting in the middle.
Like Daniel Ponce de Leon and Yadier Molina. That's what I see with Producer Joe. He disagrees with your math on G-Unit.
Well, if only there was a goddamn spreadsheet that's sitting there that tells you the standings.
Now Joe is mad at Jackson. I
couldn't be. Sorry. You're right.
Tim's 8-4. Tim's 8-4. 2-0 are his locks. He is in first place. Followed by Pete, who is 5-7. 0-2 with his locks.
I don't need locks.
Followed by Unit and I at 4-8 and 4-8. Jackson is, the shithead is 3-8, 0-1 with his locks, and Jackson is 3-9.
Well, look at your spreadsheet. I'd be 0-1-1 on locks, dumb fuck.
Well, if you paid any attention to the world, we don't count pushes anywhere along the way. So a push just ends up being no game. That's all it is.
Here we go.
So really? Yes.
When did that start?
Really. Pushes get removed.
Forgot my popcorn again.
Whatever.
I was wrong on mine.
Just turned his mic on just to laugh, and then he turned it back off. I was watching the thing the whole time. All right. Well, we have some discrepancy on what Iggy's standings are, but I am in first place. 3-3 last week, 5-1 the first week. Gangster Pete is in second place. I know those things. We will pick our 5 games. Anything goes as long as it's minus 120 or less. And then we will do our locks after that. I would like to let our audience know who makes this podcast possible. In addition to the wonderful people at Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey, Ryan Kelly, thehomeloanexpert.com. Want to refinance, want to get pre-approved? Somebody we all know actually was contacting me this past weekend to get some things taken care of because he was getting pre-approved, and it got taken care of quick, fast, in a hurry over the weekend, as a matter of fact, with Ryan Kelly's great staff. Thehomeloanexpert.com is where you can go, or go there to get refinanced. Ryan was on the radio show this morning. He's like, for real, if your interest rate isn't in the 2s, you're just throwing money away. Get it taken care of at thehomeloanexpert.com. In the market for a car, do business with Munganess, stlouisacura.com, and altontoyota.com. Jamie Burkhardt, Clayton Patterson, the official automotive provider of the Tim McKernan Show podcast. You can get $1,000 off 2021 vehicle at Munganess, stlouisacura.com, and altontoyota.com just by saying you listen to the podcast or you listen to the Ryan Kelly Morning After. Make sure you're working with Jamie Burkhardt, Clayton Patterson, Munganess, stlouisacura.com, altontoyota.com, and Mark Hanna of Evergreen Wealth Strategies online at evergreenstl.com. Every pay period, I go in and I enter all my stuff and just check it. Just because I'm absolutely batshit. And I think to myself, I was actually thinking this today as I was walking into the radio station because I just gotten done with my spreadsheet. And I was thinking to myself, what if I would have done this even 10 years ago, much less 20 years ago, like Jackson is doing now with Mark Hanna? You need a financial advisor. I'm not just saying it because the guy's a sponsor. I want you to work with Mark Hanna. If you don't, fine, get a financial advisor in general. It's so important. Mark Hanna, however, we are all fans of. 314-889-0503 or go online at evergreenstl.com. It's Mark Hanna, Evergreen Wealth Strategies. All right, G-Unit, 4-2 last week. That means you get the box this week, sir. The floor is yours.
Can I ask one question first?
Oh, Iggy, you have a question. Yes, please.
I just have one question.
God damn it, Iggy. God damn it. The clock is on. The clock.
Now G-Unit's not happy with Iggy. Everybody's not happy.
Hypothetically, if this was week 1 and we were picking, and at the end of the year, just say Joe went 1-101, and I pushed 102 games, you would beat me, correct?
Joe is not apparently in the mood to take questions at the moment. Pete, Jackson, do you have any answers to this wonderful hypothetical?
I kind of tuned out.
I didn't follow it. I didn't really follow what you were saying.
Do you have a 30-minute answer to the question?
No, Joe just said my push doesn't count as a bet. So if I went, if I pushed 102 games in the season and Joe went 1-101, he would technically beat me.
Best winning percentage, yeah.
All right, I just want to clear that up.
This is fucking bizarre to me. And one, if you place a bet with a bookie and you push, how many fucking dollars do you win?
We're not playing dollars; we're playing one-loss record. So,
no, answer the question, shithead. If you place a bet with a bookie and you push, how many dollars do you win?
None.
It's a trick question, Iggy. It's a trick.
No, it's not a trick question. That would
always
be none.
pick C.
But in the standings, if you tie a game, does that count as no game? You play 17 games.
We've never counted a push. Here's the simple fucking math. We've never counted a push in this ever. And if I was
I never played it before.
I don't know, for 5 years, maybe I would have listened to it at least once to see how things operated. Just once. You've got nothing but time because you have nothing in your life. All you've got to do is listen to one episode. That's it. We've never counted a push.
Maybe if you weren't on the episodes, I would have listened, but I don't really care. With you
Well,
on there, so I'm not going to listen.
Okay. So come in unprepared, the way that you've lived your life, completely unprepared for anything. That's fine.
Unprepared because I asked a question.
We've never
How
counted
a
a
push
push.
doesn't count as a half a point.
We've never counted a push. Ever counted a push? If you make a bet and you push, you get $0. It's like
Again,
it never.
I've never played in the game. Look at the standings. If you tie a game, does it count as no bet, no game? No, you get a tie. Standings. Then, am I not correct in that?
If you walk up to a window and you place a wager,
want to know
and
that
you
day doesn't count? Just go ahead, Gene. I'm sorry.
Exactly how we operate. It's exactly how we operate. There's no points for pushes here.
All right. Go ahead, Gene. I'm sorry. I've never been in this thing before, so I just asked a simple question. Go ahead.
You are the dumbest fucking person I've ever come across.
Why don't you go fuck yourself? I'm already tired of your bullshit.
Then leave. Iggy, then leave.
No, I'm
Disappear.
I
Leave.
won't, but I'm hoping you do at some point.
Oh, well, get me. God damn it, you were the worst. I don't know how Jackson and Tim work with you every day. Every single second they spend around you, they become dumber.
Well, because they're nice people. You're not.
Ooh.
Leave me out of it.
I think you're a delight.
Thank you.
You are the guy people keep around to make themselves feel better about themselves.
For us.
Go ahead, Gene. I'm sorry.
All right. Joe, you done?
As long as we don't get any more stupid questions from him, we'll be just fine.
All right. Hey, Miami at home, a 3.5-point dog to Buffalo. Week 2 is just so fun because you get to find out who is real and who is fake after that first week 1. A lot of shockers in week 1. So is Buffalo as bad as they played, or are the Steelers are as good as they played? I don't think Miami is going to lose by 4 points at home to this Buffalo team. I think Miami's better than last year. Buffalo is worse. 78% of the public on Buffalo. Miami plus 3.5. Saints are real. Saints minus 3.5 on the road at Carolina. I think Pittsburgh could be really good, but the reason why I like them in this game against Las Vegas is just because a zigzag on Vegas. I was on the Raiders on Monday night. That was my lock, and boy, was that an emotional roller coaster for everybody involved. And Pittsburgh's coming off a pretty good win. Vegas is riding too high. They're gonna get blown out, I think, against the Steelers. And then what else?
What number are you playing the Steelers at? Unit? You didn't say.
What I say? 5.5. Is that
okay?
I didn't shop it around. I imagine they're probably -4 somewhere that you found, Joe.
No, I just didn't hear you say a line. Period. So I was just asking what number you had them at.
So I've got Miami plus 3.5, Saints minus 3.5, Pittsburgh minus 5.5, and then the 49ers minus 3 on the road at Philadelphia. I'm gonna bet against Philadelphia as much as I can. I do not believe they're good. I cannot believe their performance. I think the Falcons might be the worst fucking team in the NFL based on that game. I think the 49ers blow them out, -3 on the road. I don't like that much travel, but it's not going to make up the difference in these two teams. And my 5th pick would be, this is all going from memory because I lost my little notepad where I had all my notes.
You're so smart, G-Unit.
Yeah, isn't it crazy how smart I am? But
I think producer Joe is now frustrated with G-Unit.
No, not at all. I have no disdain towards him whatsoever. I was just checking out the bottom of the 9th of this Boston and Mariners game.
So
the under. What do you got?
Nothing actually.
Guys, come on! I've got the floor here. Who are the Packers playing?
The Lions.
Lions.
Okay,
Monday night.
I'm taking the Lions. I saw it at plus 10.5 earlier. God, I love that bet. I mean,
Well,
what about
I didn't even know who they were playing.
Well, no, I wrote it down. I had like 5 pages of written analysis on this game, and then I forgot who they were playing. But
You're getting it at 11, by the way.
all right, I'll take it plus 11. And boy, what if that moves up to 2 touchdowns? Just because everyone just loves the Packers for no reason. I mean, I like what about the Packers makes you think they're going to beat a team by 11 points? I'll take the Lions all day at plus 11. Thank you.
G-Unit's picks are in. Action Jackson, could you revisit them for those who may have gotten distracted over the last half hour?
Joe has got them.
I got him. He's got the
I don't want
Dolphins.
to mess up again.
He's got the Dolphins plus 3.5, the Saints minus 3.5, the Steelers minus 5.5, the Niners minus 3, and the Lions plus 11.
All right, the picks are in. I am up next on the T-Box, and I will start with a team total bet, a rare team total bet in the Pick Six podcast. The Maryland team total of over 34.5. This is on DraftKings. Maryland team total over 34.5. The Fighting Illini have been involved in all of my picks so far this week, or this podcast. Florida State plus 5.5. The Seminoles to bounce back like absolute champions after the horrifying Hail Mary against the good people from Jacksonville State. Florida State plus 5.5 as they travel to the Demon Deacons. Nebraska, Oklahoma. Just like it's Thanksgiving week in the Big Eight, they're getting back together. The total is 61.5. We're going over 61.5. Nebraska, Oklahoma. Alabama is on the road. They are in the swamp. I'm going to lay 14 in the swamp with Roll Damn Tide. Producer Joe, you don't like that pick.
No, I was looking to see where you got the 14 because all I've seen is 14.5 because I was looking at that one earlier.
If it's I know that one could be going up. I actually think it might go up higher than that. It was 14, but if it's 14.5 or 15, we're still going with it, even all the way up to 17. So,
all right. I've only seen it at 14.5.
I accept whatever. I trust. Let's see what we got. And how many have we got? We have Maryland team total. Florida State plus 5.5 against Wake Forest. Nebraska over 61.5. Roll Dam minus 14. And then Boise State minus 3.5. Boise State minus 3.5 this weekend at home. A huge game in Boise as they are hosting a Big 12 team with Oklahoma State. Boise State minus 3.5. There are my 5 picks.
Tim, DraftKings still has it at 2 touchdowns, so you're good at 14.
Oh, God bless. I snuck in. Sweet. Who's up next, Action Jackson?
The next would be Iggy. Iggy's up next.
Oh, look at Iggy.
All right, I'm going to start with a college sweetheart teaser.
Yes.
Going with Ole Miss minus 1, Oklahoma minus 9, Alabama minus 0.5, UCF Louisville over 55.
So that counts as one bet.
Yes.
All right. So Iggy is
Where are you getting 14 or where are you getting 14.5 point sweethearts?
Was that 3 teams or 4 teams?
That's 14.
13 point.
But
That's a 13.14 NFL 5.
Where are you getting Bama as a 13.5 point favorite?
I didn't. Didn't I say minus 1?
You said minus 0.5.
No, they're 14, so it's minus 1.
You figured it out.
All right. Second pick, another college sweetheart teaser.
Oh, no.
Iowa minus 9.5. UTSA minus 0.5. Georgia Southern Arkansas over 37.5. Oklahoma State Boise State over 45. These
can you break down each one of these teasers?
I got all these spreads up of DraftKings and the other one that Jackson gave me.
Scores and odds.
Scores and odds.
Bingo.
All right. My third bet is an NFL sweetheart teaser.
Mm.
Bengals plus 15. Cleveland plus 1. Tampa Bay plus 1. Dallas plus 16.5. And the Green Bay Lions game over 35. My fourth bet is another NFL sweetheart teaser. got the spread, Pete, there. Steelers +8. Philadelphia +16.5. Seattle +8. Kansas City +9.5. And the Bucks in Atlanta over 39.
That's 5 games.
Yeah, an NFL Sweetheart Teaser is 5 games. Correct, Jim?
No.
A college Sweetheart Teaser is 4 games. An NFL, if I do an NFL 4-teamer, it's 130. Don't we have to stop at 120?
4-team teasers are always 130, regardless.
Uh-oh.
According to DraftKings, a 4-team teaser is 115. If I did a 4-team teaser in the NFL, it's minus 130.
Let's see here.
So that's why you did 5?
That's why I did 5, because 5 is 115.
Okay.
And I'm just going by the rules of nothing more than minus 120.
I've never placed a 5 or a 4-game Sweetheart Teaser through DraftKings, so I'm going to take your word on this. It's fine.
You really did your homework.
Gentlemanly.
I mean, no, I'd rather do 4 if I could.
Well, no, 4 teams are always minus 130, but on the book that we use, just to be clear, everybody's is different, and that's fine. So we're going to use the honor system here.
All right, I just went by DraftKings 4 and 5-team teasers, and the 4-team NFL teaser would have been minus 130. And I know we don't do anything less than 120, so that's why I did 5.
Okay, I trust you.
All right, my fifth one is my fifth pick. My fifth pick is a NFL teaser. Rams Colts over 34.5. Buffalo Miami over 34.5. San Francisco Philadelphia over 36.5. Arizona Minnesota over 37.5. And Green Bay +2.
I think that's the entire slate. I think that's every game.
Joe's writing them down.
I think you got every game on the schedule.
I had to go through.
I want to get your opinion on 9 of those teasers.
I'm sure Gino wasn't
Action
right.
Jackson, who is up next?
Either producer Joe or Pete. Chris Raby's loving this. He's saying, "I can't believe I just walked into this pile of puke."
I'm so glad Iggy is on the show now.
I'm sorry I used up so much time, though. I apologize.
Joe, I'll defer to you if you want to go, pal.
I think you've got the lead on the overall season, though, don't you? So you would have the box.
Oh, I do. That is right.
There you go.
Just wanted to hear you say it. Hi. When I was a kid, I loved the U, but I'm not a kid anymore. I'm 2-0 betting against Miami. I'm going to do it again. Michigan State +6.5 at Miami. Next, we go to Cincy and Indiana. I am taking Cincy -3.5. Penix is bad. Cincy was looking ahead to this game. I think Cincy is going to pound them. Next, we have the whiteout in Happy Valley. I'm taking Penn State -4.5. You got the whiteout versus Road Bo Nix. I'll take the whiteout all day. Now we're going to go late night Saturday night. So if you need to make up after losing all those teasers, Fresno State +11.5 at UCLA. I'm on Fresno State. I really like that team this year. UCLA's got a lot of hype around them. They've been looking good, but I think we get some value at Fresno State +11.5. And then the late game, I'm taking my San Jose Spartans -6.5 at Hawaii. I think San Jose State will dominate the line on both sides of the ball. I like them to cover 6.5 at Hawaii. So to recap, I got Michigan State +6.5, Cincinnati -3.5, Penn State -4.5, Fresno State +11.5, and San Jose State -6.5.
I'm sorry, I forgot to recap my games.
That's all right.
You know what, Iggy? I think just considering the volume, Jackson and Joe will scribble them down. Producer Joe, I don't know how many teasers you have in your picks.
0. None.
How many soccer?
1 soccer play.
Okay.
All right. We'll start UCF Friday night game. We will take UCF -7 to get things started off against Louisville at Louisville. Next, we'll go late night Saturday night. We're going to take the Trojans in a bounce-back game after firing their head coach. At Washington State, we'll lay the 8 points. Next up, Tim, you're on Bama at 14. I've got Bama, Florida over 59 in that game. Next up, I'm also on Michigan State. I rode Michigan State week 1 when they beat up on Northwestern. I will ride Michigan State once again this week, plus 6.5.
Ride me, boy.
And finally, I'll take Mississippi State -3. Mississippi State -3.
Bulldogs, Hail State. Producer Joe's picks have been submitted, and that means only one more pick of 5 is left, and that's on Action Jackson coming off of a rough week last week. Let's see what he does this week. Is he going a lot of underdogs and unders?
No, 0 unders, but a couple underdogs. I got the Vikings and Cardinals over 50.5. I think we could see another high-scoring game out of both teams. People are laughing again. I don't like that.
I just like the analysis.
Gangster Pete.
I just like the analysis, so that was good.
I got him over 37.5.
I'm glad we're on the same page. Then I got Bengals plus 2.5 playing Chicago. Then I got the Colts plus 3.5. I got Penn State -5 taking on Auburn. I like Penn State -5.
It's 4.5.
What?
4.5.
4.5? Even better.
That helped out.
God bless. And then UNC UVA over 65.5. Those are my picks.
Action Jackson, do you feel good about the situation?
No, not at all. I don't feel good about any of these plays. UVA's scored over 40 points every game, so.
Well, they only played twice.
Both times.
Yeah, rack it up.
All right. Well, some people like sample sizes, some people don't. All right. We have locks of the week. Before we get into the locks of the week, I would like to tell our audience about the wonderful people at Design Air Heating and Cooling. The great Seth Goldcamp is a loyal sponsor of this podcast and of the Ryan Kelly Morning After. He's online at designairservice.com, Design Air Heating and Cooling. Iggy, I know you like to give the Strodecast on the radio show. Joe sent me over some data this weekend that made it look like it was over 91 degrees.
4 straight days, Tim. 4 straight days.
Yeah, on one of those days, the National Weather Service issued an apology that they went over their forecast prediction by 2 to 5 degrees, and they apologized. So if it was 91 one day, then it was actually 86 degrees. So
86.
No. I think once again you're proving how incredibly stupid you are. The National Weather Service apologized for misforecasting how hot it was going to be. If they project 95 and it's 91, they're 4 degrees off.
They predicted
really
91.
Wait, what did they do? How do they apologize? What do they do? They send out a text message or something?
They went on Twitter and apologized for being no, nobody had 95 degrees as a high, so go fuck yourself.
Oh, that's interesting.
I like when Iggy says go fuck yourself.
So I'm in the middle of this Design Air read, and I'd strayed to get the forecast to see if we were going to deal with any hot conditions where people might need Design Air Heating and Cooling. So, Iggy, if you could, just give us a little peek of how things are going to look over the next 10 days or so.
No, I made sure I looked because I have a busy weekend of reunions and golf, and the weather's going to be beautiful all weekend. Highs in the low to mid 80s, lows in the 60s, so it's going to be a great weekend.
Absolutely perfect. Well, anytime you run into bad heating and cooling situations, Design Air Heating and Cooling online at designairservice.com. If you were to experience water in your basement, water in your home anywhere, that is dangerous because that can lead to mold, and that's where Jim Rogers of Restoration One of Central St. Louis comes into play. The great Jim Rogers of Restoration One of CentralSt.Louis.com. Any water in your home, any damage in your home, period. 314-565-1962. That's 314-565-1962. Call Jim Rogers to have your home professionally assessed and dried by the water damage experts at Restoration One of Central St. Louis. And finally, James Carlton of the Carlton State Farm Insurance Agency. He is online at carltoninsurance.net. He is a loyal listener of the podcast and a loyal sponsor of the podcast as well. He's located in Webster Groves, and that's where you will find James Carlton and the Carlton State Farm Insurance Agency team. 314-961-4800. That's 314-961-4800. They're always looking for ways to save their clients money. I get texts about it all the time. 314-961-4800. Go online at carltoninsurance.net. If your insurance costs a leg and an arm, call James Carlton, State Farm. All right, it's the Tullamore Dew Pick 6 podcast. Now it is time for the players to give their locks. G-Unit, you start things off. Sir, your lock of the week.
The Chiefs over. Now, this was bouncing around a lot, so I'm just going to take best available, whatever that is. They look so good on offense, and I think their defense is going to struggle a little bit again this year, at least to start the year. And, I mean, they're just going to drop 70 every game, I think. So, Chiefs over. What do you got that at, Jackson?
Chiefs over.
Jackson, were you in the midst of REM sleep?
No, I
think
Chiefs,
it's 55.
That is
He's got it at
55 and a half. 55 and a half.
Yeah, see that everyone loves betting on the Chiefs over under, and so that gets so much action early in the week. But yeah, 55 and a half is fine. I mean, I would take it at 65, but I'll take that.
All right, there it is. G-Unit is in. He's going over Chiefs. I am on an under. Virginia Tech, West Virginia, under 50 and a half. That is from the wonderful people at Scores and Odds. Virginia Tech, West Virginia, under 50 and a half, as I try to take my locks of the week to 3-0. Virginia Tech, West Virginia, under 50 and a half. Iggy, are you up next on the tee?
I think so.
All right, go ahead, sir.
Well, gentlemen, fall time is almost here. So we aim our compass due east, maybe south, I don't know, to the Republic of Belarus. 5 p.m. on Friday. One of the crown jewels rivalries of the Vishna Liga Reserve.
Hold on. Excuse me, sir. Are you reading?
As Torpedo Belaz Zodina, they are taking on energetic BGU Minsk. Rochelle from Milan to Minsk. They sometimes say, if a pony is ready to run by watching them amble toward the starting gate, as both these teams aim to make up for a miscue, and I believe it was blamed on an Aaron Starter's pistol, a costly blemish for any club with aspirations as high as the top of the Belarusian Football Foundation mountaintop. Torpedo clinches his third-place finish from a year ago, while Energetic boasts the league's leading scorer from a season twice removed. With everything on the line, how can I just pick one team? I can't.
You're a guitar.
That's just like Jay trying to pick the best foot between Ariana Marie and Julie Bowen. So I can't pick just one team. According to Bovada, both teams will score minus 150.
What?
Both teams will score at least one goal, minus 150.
Minus 115 or 50?
Minus 115, 115.
115. So therefore, it is a legal and accepted wager. And the name of the two wonderful clubs are what?
Vishna League Reserve. It's a big game going on.
Right.
I forgot the name of the teams, actually.
What was one of them? Minsk?
Now, energetic BGU Minsk, they're taking on Torpedo Belaz-Zadino.
Right.
Big game in that league.
And you expect it to be an offensive showdown. Iggy is in with a couple of teams, one of which he can't remember, each scoring a goal in Belarus this weekend. We have Gangster Pete.
Gangster Pete.
Yep.
There he is.
All right. For my lock, I want a little NFL action, so I'm going to take a page out of Iggy's book. I got a 3-team, 10-point teaser.
Wow.
I will take the Browns to bounce back, minus 2.5 against the Texans. I will take the Bucks, minus 2.5 against the Falcons, who are terrible. And then I will take the Broncos, plus 4 against the Jags. That is my lock.
Oh, I got to tell you, Gangster Pete, I kind of like that. I don't mean to curse it, but I kind of like it.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Did you like any of my 5?
I like 3 of your 5 teasers, and I'm going to revisit it right at the tail end of the podcast. Producer Joe, what do you think of Iggy's? I know you follow the beautiful game, and he was going over to Belarus.
And while he read, he left out the part of reading comprehension. The National Weather Service's tweet was, "We were a little overzealous with our max temp forecast on Saturday, airing too high by 3 to 5 degrees. The reason was the high concentration of smoke is seen in the analysis at 7 p.m. on Saturday. The smoke impacts will continue today, inducing a vibrant sunrise and sunset." Still, the temperature was 91 degrees on Saturday, not the fact that it was less than 91 degrees by 2 to 5 degrees. Reading comprehension. It's a very, very simple thing.
You seem to know weather, so if you make a forecast, or the National Weather Service, you make a forecast for a high for the day, let's just say they say 95. How do you miss by 2 to 5 degrees? How do you have that? We missed by maybe 2, maybe 3, maybe 4, maybe 5 degrees. How do you have that in between? You either miss by 2, or you miss by 4, you miss by 5. You can't miss between 4 numbers.
Well, this is the National Weather Service for St. Louis, and it probably covers a vast area, and there's varying temperatures all over the area. So they may have missed by 2 degrees in, say, South City or south of the city, whereas they may have missed by 5 degrees a little bit north of the city. It's a very simple thing. It doesn't mean that they were at 86 degrees because they missed by 5 and it was 91. The high temperature was still 91 degrees. You're still wrong. You're still a loser. And I will take Arsenal plus 100 at Burnley this weekend. Arsenal plus 100.
Joe gave his lock and some analysis on Iggy's forecast. What a wonderful parlay for the audience. Action Jackson, our final lock of the week here on the Tullamore Dew Pick 6 podcast.
Well, I don't have any international soccer games, but I do have the Niners Patriots money line parlay. So both Niners and Patriots money line parlay plus money. That's my lock of the week.
Wow, going parlaying at the money line. All right, Action Jackson's picks are in. All of the picks are in. Thank you to Tullamore Dew for supporting this wonderful presentation. Thank you to all of you watching live and now listening on the podcast as well, the Tim McKernan Show podcast feed, owned by Inside STL Enterprises, LLC. Thank you to Ryan Kelly, the HomeLoanExpert.com, Mark Hanna, Evergreen Wealth Strategies, James Carlton, the Carlton State Farm Insurance Agency, Jim Rogers, Restoration One of CentralSt.Louis.com, Seth Goldcamp of Design Air Heating and Cooling, and, of course, Jamie Burkhardt and Clayton Patterson, Munganess, StLouisAcura.com, AltonToyota.com. Thank you to Tullamore Dew, our presenting sponsor, Action Jackson, Producer Joe, Gangster Repeat, G-Unit and Kenneth Iggy Strode, for all of the wonderful folks on the presentation. I'm Tim McKernan. This has been another edition of the Pick 6 podcast presented by Tullamore Dew.